afternoon. This is Chris Brecher with the Simpler Stocks free video for November 1st, 2016. It's about an hour before the close. Wanted to get this out early so everybody could go trick-or-treating and not have to worry about watching this later. So right now we have the ES is down all at 225. NASDAQ down 375. Russell finally outperforming up 290. Bonds up 17. Let me just show you something in here that I find interesting. See these two indicators? On Simpler Stocks, I'm going to show you this first. Simpler Stocks, when you get a subscription, you get the chat room from 9 to 10 in the morning. The premium video is a lot more in depth than this video. You get the forum where it's a message-based sort of way for subscribers to communicate with me and within each other. You have the email alerts, and the reason I'm showing you this first is the email alerts. Every week, I take StockTwits, and I do a thing called the StockTwits Sentiment Table. This is not something proprietary. You can just go and compile it yourself on StockTwits, and it's free, and I love free. But this is what I want to show you on here because it works. These are the kind of created things that I seem to show on our site that nobody else seems to show. This is bullish and bearish. The way it works is StockTwits analyzes, has an algorithm analyzing sentiment and feel on their streams. So you see in here, I published this. See the ES is 60% bullish, 10.8, then they sold off. Look at the IWM. Went from 62% bearish to 78% bearish. Usually an extreme is when one of these indexes has at least 70% bears or 70% bulls. Look at the QQQ, 70%. Went straight down after that. Well, look today when I published this last night. Bear 78% the IWM, the Russell. 92% the bonds. That's the most bearish the bonds I've ever seen. Now what I want you to do is go and see what's outperforming today. Guess what? The Russell up 320, the bonds up 21. Amazing how that works, how sentiment works. One thing about our site, we try to find ways to make money, but I also try to teach creative things that it seems nobody else on the street does. And one of them is about sentiment and where to read sentiment and where it makes a difference. If you read too much into it, it'll drive you nuts. What you want to do is you want to read into only extremes. So today, like I said, you have the Russell and the bonds outperforming. Industrials down 12.29. SPX moderately up, all of 0.99. Transport's having a good day, up 49. That's basically led by the airlines again, having a pretty good day in here. You have the gold doing much of nothing. Crude oil getting smacked down 195 in here after Iran, Iraq sound like they're not going to go along with any production cuts. You have the dollar doing much of nothing. This is another tell. We teach this all the time. ES is down, NASDAQ down. The advanced decline is positive. A lot of that shows internal strength in the market. Usually you don't get a big old trend day down when you get that. You have the volatility up a little. Typical action prior to an uncertain event. One is the Fed this week. Two is the unemployment report this week. And of course next week on Tuesday, the election. You have the Nikkei. I'm not sure the Nikkei is even open today. But if it is, it shows flat. German market doing nothing. Chinese market doing nothing in here. So the whole idea in here is all about extremes. When the bullishness was extreme on the NASDAQ, guess what? Put this up on a 78-minute chart, and it corresponded exactly with the top. That's why I published the StockTwits Sentiment Index anyway. The beauty of it is it's something free. Anybody could do it. I just do the grunt work of compiling it. I have it in a visually pleasing way that it seems like it rings a bell with a lot of people on Simpler Stocks, which is great. If I can help make money, I'm going to do it. So the idea is that was the high in the NASDAQ. On the other hand, look at the bonds. Bonds finally having a little pop today, and sure enough, the sentiment is way too extreme. The idea in here, we're at support already. Bonds in here, the extreme, they were due for a bounce. The same with the IWM or the TF. That's the futures representing the IWM. Undercut right here, right at their fire line, right at support. Too much bear sentiment, and they have a bounce. It's amazing how that works. So I hope that the rest of the week, the way I'm looking at it, we're probably just going to vacillate around this area. Remember, in here, you have the ESs close to a big old breakdown. But one thing we teach all the time, we have a number of free videos that teach it. We're at a ledge, I call this a ledge, at major support. When you have an uncertain event coming up this next week, and some things this week, and you have that much support, but you have a ledge, those are two counteracting indicators that ends up that the market usually does much of nothing. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Like I said, we have the $7 30-day trial. You should take us up on it. Literally thousands of people have. It's been just fantastic. What a great experience. So everybody take care. I will talk to you tomorrow.